You haven't finished that yet?
Don't get me started.
Come on, Ian. I left you down here. I went home.
Rome was not built in an hour.
Anyway, hi.
Hello,
I like your shirt.
folks. Oh, thank you. I got this as a gift. Some people were asking about the welding on these. Do I weld these panels 100% across, or do Victor's guys get the project to continue, etc.? Like, how does it finish? It actually finishes. What I do is I get this pretty much tacked darn near on top of each other, fill in a few more spaces here and there, but I don't run a bead across, as you can see, because that'll warp it. So depending on where we are in the process, if Victor wants it, his guys are proficient in welding, etc. They've done some door hinges and latches for me also. They know what's up. The idea is I get Victor's basic design across. So the average tech can come in and finish it. So that's the idea with these doors. And he said the same for this fender. He had this idea. So he didn't like this. And it's funny because Victor is very Art Deco. Like, he's super old school with that flowing waterfall design. And the 38 Cadillac was sort of getting into its own style as compared to, say, the Zephyr, which is pure Art Deco. Someone said the 38 Cadillac styling was like a skyscraper. You know, like the big new modern tall, you know, not cubist, but definitely more hard edge, 90-degree edges than this flowing waterfall. Oh, they said it was like a skyscraper laying on its side. So when you look at this style here, you know, you clearly have leftover stuff from that, you know, super futuristic, retro sort of Art Deco design, but then you have these hard vertical lines. That's not something you see on the Zephyr at all, as well as the square speedometer, the door handles, and other features on the car. It's a departure from that classic style. So I think the way that these fenders were bobbed off, you know, you'll see the Zephyr, it's always that teardrop, that ellipse, hard curve, rounding outward. They snubbed it off. Looks like a dang knee bone.
It kind of does. I never really noticed that until Victor really pointed it out.
Yeah.
Got his chalk out.
Yeah, so when you see the 40 Ford, they're definitely following suit in 1940. Still the big bubble fenders, but doesn't have that long slope down thing you'll see from the earlier cars. So Victor likes the earlier style. Me too. Let's cut it up. I was looking at this Ford fender, and we're trying to get away from that knee bone thing, right? So probably right around here is the apex of that. I think this is going to become the bottom of that fender. Victor said, you know, we could almost just come in and delete this and just turn it down. But I see something even more dramatic.
I like drama.
And in doing that, I think we're going to end up cutting up to here somewhere. I like the way I lowered my voice for that. So we're going to cut this fender apart. These were gotten from the swap meet. Anyone trying to restore or crash repair a 1940 Ford fender, you just lost your opportunity with this one. See the apex of this curve? That's kind of where I'm trying to join these two, because I don't want it to look like that wherever they come together. That's why I was saying it's going to be such a long cut. This fender is going to the scrapyard after this, so I'm just going to cut it right in half. So now what we're going to do to the Cadillac, pretty much cut out a shape similar to this, figure out how it all goes back together. Yeah, and so you're looking at that, we're going to go pretty close. I'm going to mark this. We're going to cut off to there. We're going to cut further, definitely. But we could start here. We're looking to take that knock-kneed look off of that. So let's just kind of do this. Yeah, I'll just see what that gives. Might be a brace in there. Aha! Now I remember me and Alan wrestling with those fender washers. It all comes back. We're gonna have to unbolt that. So this I could see definitely working very easily, but where it attaches to the car, it's still got that big heavy shape. So I'm gonna pull these bolts out, and we're definitely gonna have to just radius down to create new mounting points. But it's nice that the Cadillac body is flat straight through there. So let's get ourselves a 1/2-inch ratchet. Actually, I think there's nuts on the inside of this. So me and Alan had a heck of a time. The Cadillac is primarily fine thread through so many of these things. So we were drilling, tapping, messing around. We ended up putting bolts in on, nuts and bolts in certain ones. And you see that one didn't even thread up. And I think we just like, forget it. It's not going anywhere. Because we had to be done.
TV magic.
I'm going to just cut those off. It's going to be way faster. I see it. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You know, that man's got an eye. He's got an eye for detail. That just streamlines it. It looks so much cleaner.
Yeah, and with the door being done like that, it just looks so cool.
Yeah. I like that guy, I gotta say. Looks like we're just gonna have to adjust that running board a little bit right there. Almost works perfect just like that. You can feel it's hanging up. Hanging up right through here. Let's chop that off. So, just trying to decide what I cut. If I cut more Cadillac fender or if I cut this insert down. You see how far away it is here. That's because this is coming to here, so this is hitting up here. I could cut this back, come to a closer join. That's always the question. What's the best result? Because I'm real happy with the way that that's landing right there. Or do we cut the Cadillac fender up? Because this is definitely going to want to come down to meet that. Yeah, I think we might have to cut this back because this curve is so nice. See how the Cadillac arches up so hard? Pop it on top. Yeah, see, that's definitely prohibiting it. Yep, I think we're going to cut. Take this off like that. Okay. Still hitting here. Is it? No, it isn't. What's this? I think this is going to end up being more like this to let that curve come in. You realize what you're doing in a 38 Cadillac fender? It's a pristine condition. Sometimes those are the thoughts that go through a man's head. Yeah, look at that. Tasty. Alright, so we got a little quandary here. See how this, like so many things, doesn't just line up perfect. So we got a gap here, we got a gap down there, but we're hitting here. We're going to scribe with the marker, do a little trimming. Roughly that. By 40, they're using a lot thinner metal. Yep, there it is. Much better. Right there. Just fell in. Love it. These fenders are going to get welded to the car, by the way, just like the rears. That's part of what our discussion was off camera. Bada bing. So I think this is going to do that. This is going to do that. So you can see how much I knew I was going to have to take off. You know, and he's like, that little corner, I was like, nah, to get it to flow, we're gonna have to dig deep. Yeah. You can still see right here where it's just kind of not happening. It's up. So I'm real happy with all this down here. I'm going to take this and I'll bring them together right here. If that's not commitment, I don't know what is. I'm going to err on the side of safety just a little bit first. See how that works. Yeah, look. Flat. Exactly what we're hoping to see. That'll lay there. All right, I'm gonna do a bunch of cleanup. Trim that just a wee bit more. Actually, right along that spray paint line will do it. There it is. Swing it in. All right. I do a bunch of cleanup. We'll be right back after this rust removal procedure. So what you didn't see was me wearing a respirator, cleaning everything up, nice and tidy.
And
so
I was hiding in the office editing.
yes, clean up the shop. So I basically took all the rust and paint off of most of whatever I could that I'll be welding to. And we're gonna carry on. Here, the remote control planes flying around outside. It's plane crazy Saturday at the Mojave Airport. Planes, planes, planes. That's what's going on out there.
Ooh la la.
Right there. All right, I think I'm gonna spot that first, right here. I'm gonna hit it. Now that I got a tack there, I can get this pushed down with the old karate chop. And tack this. Got some lead. Got some more lead. More lead. Wow. It's gonna be like that, huh? That's steel. I'm gonna cut this back right here. See how that's interfering just a little bit? They come in like this. Let's get a little relief cut. I got a plan for that later. It's like a weird weld. Maybe the Cadillac was repaired, I'm not sure. Cut right through the weld. Yeah, see? That'll work. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna run the grinder right across this. Then I'm gonna butt weld that. It's not something I do a lot, but it's gonna help with the filler on this. So this is something to think about. I do lap panels pretty frequently, but on this curve, the apex here, really trying to avoid having it come to a peak. So I'm butt welding these so there is no lap. And I'm also going to heat it up pretty good so I can hammer it down into shape a little bit. Nice tack right there. And then I've done this before, see I use a little tiny screwdriver right in there so I can level these panels out. And this looks down. So with butt welding with a MIG welder, you could see how much more tedious it is. There's this little gap here. With TIG welding, you're using a filler rod, and I've seen other guys use coat hangers. But right now, I'm just setting it up on the end of the, see the little ball there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I work with. We've gone through this. So you place that ball right down, let it cool, and then build on it. That's how you fill that little gap up. Yeah, cool. All right, so I like that. Now we're going to hammer that slightly, and I can't decide. It looks like I could probably get away with cutting quite a bit more of this, but I'm gonna work the inside first. Yeah, that I can just lap. This will fill straight through. Get a bigger bar. Take the grinder and slice right through here, let that relieve, and then it'll shut. See how I cut this back further? That's allowing the inside panel to fall inside a little bit to give, to make that mismatch and curvature come together. If I was to let it just cut to here, it would have buckled right there. So that's easy enough. You just stop it with a weld, close it back up. By really putting the heat in like that, it's going to shrink it a bit, but it's annealed. I can bang it back out. So we're going to fight it a little bit here. It's going to be pressure on both sides. See how it's up? We'll go right through the middle. Trying to snatch that. See, it's going to be tight right there. put the clamp on, I'm going to start to work it right through here. A lot of tension. All right, as I mentioned, there's a lot of stress in here. I'm going to let all that heat get out of the way and come in and work it with the dolly. And first, we're going to finish this. So you have to finish this edge right here and the new orientation. But I'll try to grab that with the clamp through this little hole. All right, so to get this to come together, we're going to use the stretcher. We're going to make a piece of angle steel, trim it to this little shape, stretch it into place. One thing we know, well, let's just make a paper model, then we can discuss. Actually, we can't make a paper model because paper doesn't stretch. Just to say, roughly that long. I'm going to fold that right in half. So our piece of sheet is going to go from there to there, but then the bottom ends. All right, so we got this. We're going to leave it a little bit large, as usual. We're going to go from there to there to there on the sheet metal brake. And then something like that. Remember, we're bending upside down, so we're going to do the little trick with the screw. I'm going to transfer these dots to the other side. We got our bend, 90 degrees. We were meant to bend it that way. So now we have our piece for the other side. I'm always thinking, always thinking. So as I was saying.
What did you say?
Nothing. I didn't say nothing. So we're going to bend it on the marker line this time. No mistakes, class. Only happy accidents. We're that much closer on the other side. Perfect mirror images. Ta-da!
Do you enjoy flinging the metal like that? I feel like you get some satisfaction out of...
It's like a video game. You're hiya, hiya. So this is going to have to be curved, but pretty much like we discovered with the paper. It's going to get trimmed back to there. So now we're going to start to stretch this. And we don't need all that much because that's a pretty good fit up. So see, we're maxing out about here. So let's just take that. Take that big dart end off. Yeah, see, that'll fit perfect. And I'm probably going to just take this down. I'm not going to need all that business. Yeah, right there. Not going to need all that either. Yeah, cool. So let's stretch that into a curve.
Got this.
I say that. And this, of course, comes like that, free on its own. All right. It's like rolling the dice. Where's the bets?
Drum.
Curve will do it. That's going to want to have to cut that back a little bit because I want it's up, see? I want that to fall through. And because it's not 90, I have to come through with 2 relief cuts. 1, 2, so that that lays forward. But I'm going to weld this bottom in first. Tack that bottom in, and we can work that. I think we're going to go, so that'll fall here. To there. Fall in, and then we'll just do one here. That should make it all work together. I'm actually standing back. Don't need it that tall at all. We're going to be somewhere through here. That'll be perfect. Get that bottom pin down nice. I'm going to trim that with a grinder, so I'm not going to weld it. Now we're just going to tap this in. See the reason I cut this? We're able to work just 3 sections. This is a big heavy pipe right in there. That's why I'm able to weld so hot. This is a common problem. We've addressed it before. You run into this situation where you've blown a hole in it. You know, everybody does it. I don't care who you are. Sometimes it happens. I walked away from it. I went over here. So now it's cooled off. I can build it right up. One of the things about welding, if you try too hard, it's just going to keep falling through. So as soon as it cools off, you can close that up. Get yourself out of trouble. Mr. Experience going way too fast. Let it cool down. There's also some corrosion in that fender. That's what's falling away. Yeah, it's almost there. Let's let it cool once more. There it is. And close it up. We'll go back up to the top. Finish that piece. This is the biggest area of stress. See how it's all wobbled up right here?
Yeah.
So that's why I stopped welding. I saw it. When I heated up, it started growing. So now I got a dolly behind there. That's it. Some nice, soft 1938 and 40 sheet metal. Went right back down. From the old knee joint, slip and slide.
Wow.
You like that? Interpretive posing.
Mm-hmm.
On to the next.